Hi everybody! Today I'm making a hot process soap and I'm going to be using clays and essential oils in my soap, and I'm going to be using French green clay, which I put in this container. I'm going to be using some rose clay, which is quite lovely, and I got some of this beautiful Cambrian Serbian blue clay. So I'm going to put that in another container, but let's see what that looks like in hot process. And also I went on eocalc.com and I got this wonderful usage rate for 3 essential oils: lemongrass, clary sage, and lavender. Now I didn't have clary sage, but I had sage, so I just used that. And it's so wonderful because if you check out the rates, they give you a light usage rate of 1.5%, the light is 1%, 2% usage rate, 2.5 usage, and 3%. And this is for the weight of my oil. This they make for the weight of my oil. So I have 90 ounces of oils, and I'm using hot process, so I put that in there, and it gives you this wonderful blend and what usage rates to use. Now in hot process you don't need to use as much, so yay. And this particular blend is called Dreamland, so if you go on to EOCalc you can find that too. Now I have my lye solution here. It's been ready for a couple days, and a couple days because my daughter-in-law just had 2 babies and I'm so excited. So I'm a grandmother again, and so it's just wonderful to Emma and Liam, a little boy and a little girl. So in my lye water I have organic sugar, so I'm going to pour that in, and I didn't add my sodium lactate yet, but I think I'm going to put some in here. I need another spatula. So I'm going to just buzz this up with some sodium lactate in a second. Okay, get my large jug of sodium lactate. I got this lovely jug of sodium lactate. So because it's so big, what I normally do is I get one of these little cups from, a bathroom cup, which is very small. And looking at my recipe, let me just get my recipe out here for this soap. I have different soaps here, so this is not the right one. Lots of recipes floating around here. Okay, so I have, in this one I have 6 pounds of oils. 6 pounds of oils. So that means I can do 6 teaspoons of sodium lactate. Let me get the sugar off my spoon here. Okay, 6 teaspoons of sodium lactate. We'll just add in here 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am using what they consider full water at 38%. So we want to get them hard a little bit faster, so we'll go ahead and do that, and we'll blend it up, and I'll play some music for you and speed it up. brought you back to give you a look at what we got here. And we have cooking over here and a lot of oil separation, but I don't worry about that because at the end I mix everything up. So I'll bring you back and we'll show you after it cooks some more. Okay, I brought you back just to show you what I got here. I put the rose clay in here, and I've got 2 tablespoons and the green clay. And look at this beautiful blue. It looks a little purplish, but it's actually a blue. And we're going to mix that with a little bit of olive oil, and I'll show you that in a little while. Okay everybody, so we've been about 15-20 minutes since we started the cook, and it's coming along and cooking nicely. And while it's been cooking, I mixed up my clay. So now here's what the rose clay looks like. Very thick and viscous with the oil. Some people mix them with water, but I already have a lot of water, so the oil works for me. And the green, French green clay, it's very fine, so it seems to mix more finely than the other two. And this blue, oh my gosh guys, the blue, I just can't get over this color. I just want to use it in everything. Of course, blue's like my favorite. I could just use blue all the time. It's just so amazing. Doesn't that look luscious? I can't wait to see it in the soap. I haven't seen anybody use this in soap. I'm sure people have, but I haven't seen it, so yay, we're gonna see it. So I'll bring you back. Okay, there we go. You can see now. So as you can see, we've come quite a long way, and we're going to check it now and see where we're at with the inside. Yes, it still has some solid mass in there, so I like to, as my preference, to let that cook by itself and wait for it to finish. So that's what I'm going to do, but I just wanted to bring you along so you could see where we're at. And I just break that top down so that it just doesn't want to bubble over. So, and I got new gloves on because the other ones were all sweaty inside, so I dry those out. So yes, I'm doing 38% water with a 5% superfat, but the superfat is increased by the oils that I put in my additives, so it's all good. So we end up with maybe 7% superfat, which is perfect. And I will bring you back when we're ready to mix this. We'll also test the pH with the phenolphthalein, which it doesn't like to focus. Focus. Well, anyway, it says phenolphthalein solution 1%. I get this on Amazon, and it works pretty good. I use this to show you guys that where the pH is in the hot process. When I'm not doing the video, I usually don't use it because after a while when you do hot process, you do get used to what it looks like and where it's at in its stage, and you don't need to test the pH anymore. But when you're beginning and you're learning, it's very helpful. This is very helpful to use to tell you what stage you're at. Okay, so I'll bring you back when that's all melted inside. And as you can see, I've got another one going right there. And I've had to adjust the temperature a little bit because this one back here tends to not be as hot as this one. So I put this one on high to begin with and this one on low to begin with, and then this one was taking forever, so I turned this one on high and now I turn that one on low. I'm trying to regulate to get a temperature, but anyway, you can do it however you want. There's lots of ways to do hot process. I'm just showing you the way that I do it, and I really like it. Now this has gotten really hot, and I've actually picked up my ceramic and I flipped it around because the heat element is usually on one side. So I flipped out around my ceramic so that it could heat up the other side. So I'm going to turn it to low again, and so it can calm itself down so I don't have any volcanoes, because I really don't like the soap coming up over the edge and getting all over the inside of the top. So we'll let that cook some more and I will bring you back. Okay, it's been about 3 minutes, and you can see we're up again, and we might have all of this now being able to stir. Yes, we have fluidity now, so I will stir this. A lot of this is already turned into soap. You can see that darker, I don't know, let me see, can I get you down a little bit closer? You can see this darker, that's finished soaping, maybe make it into soap. And now we have, mostly if I mix all this together, it looks like applesauce. So even if you molded it at this point, it would still turn into soap. So it's really not a real big deal as long as you get it cooked to the part where it's almost there. So now I'm going to take a piece of my paper towel here, and we'll put a dab of soap on there, and put this back in the container. I'll zoom you out a little bit so we can see my phenolphthalein test here, see where we're at. I've turned my crock pot off so far, and so you can see from that it's just a titch little tiny bit pink. So it has a little bit more to go. Oops. A little bit more to go, but it'll get there. So that's just an indicator of the pH. So we throw this out. We don't put that back in. Oh, no, no. And so there we are. So this is just about done. And even at this point, I think I'll just give it another stir. And I think that I'll go ahead and stir this into my my additives, because it's going to turn into soap pretty quick. I mean, the temperature's up there. Let's see, where are we at with the temperature? Let me get my thermometer out here. 155-ish or so. So it's pretty hot, which is why I like to use these heavier gloves, because it insulates my hands a little bit more from all this heat. But I think that I'll just go ahead and put it into my additives, because we can. Not a problem. Alright, so I got a spoon. Or 3. We'll need those later. So I'm going to scrape this soap off the edge, and I'm going to put my whisk away. I'm going to pull the plug on this stick blender, make sure I got the right one. Yep. The other one that we're doing over here is still going. So we have our nice rose clay here. I'm going to put some in there. Let me zoom you back out a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Put my thermometer back over here. Move the rose over here. I've got the green clay here. And I'll put some in there. And the beautiful blue. Yes, I love this blue. Yes, I do. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop this into these pretty evenly by just scooping a big spoonful into each one. And then I have my essential oils ready. Oops, I lost some down here. Yikes. Yeah, I've got a hair on my hand. I am wearing a hair net, but I tell you, you gotta watch out. Keep everything clean. I alcohol everything, keep everything pretty clean, but sometimes those hairs, they just go everywhere. So my hair net's on, my eyes are covered, of course my hands and my arms are covered. I have long pants, I have closed-toed shoes, all that. Okay. Now, I think the advantage of hot process is the essential oils, because the essential oils that you can use with hot process do stay in the soap, and you don't lose the scent, and I'm pretty excited about that. So now I want to use the spatula to scrape out my pot. So I'm going to scrape out my pot a little bit here. Put some in there. I got a lot of red in it, so I'll just put it in the red since that was what we got. It's pretty warm, that pot. Even if it's been turned off for a bit, it holds that heat very well. Okay, so now I've got soft, so let me get this pot out of the way here. Okay, and so we will stir these up, scraping from the bottom where our clay is, and we'll get this beautiful color. And then once the temperature goes down a bit, we'll add our essential oil, which I have in these containers, and they've been sitting next to the crock pot, so they're warm. I do have the kaolin clay in here, which has been, every once in a while I'd shake it up so that it can absorb the beautiful essential oils into the clay, so it helps also to hold it into the mixture, I believe. So this looks lovely. I do have some white bits of soap, as you can see here, so I do want to get those out. I don't like those. I see some more in here. See that? White bit. Then I have these heavy gloves on. It's pretty hot. Here's another white bit. I can see it. Oh, they're tiny. I guess we'll have some tiny ones. We're going to do an in the pot swirl, and I just want to get those out. Not really crazy about that. White bits. Okay. I see a couple in there. Yeah, soda ash with cold process and little white bits with hot process. There's always something. Always something. I must not have had that soap all mixed in when I took this out. Sometimes if that center piece doesn't get mixed in completely, heated up completely, you can get those white bits. But gives the soap a little character, not totally terrible. I mean, it's just soap that hasn't accepted the color, so it won't accept the essential oil either. Well, I made a big mess. Okay, so that's that one. Let's see how we do with the green. Scooping from the bottom. And we'll get a temperature once these are all mixed together. It's beautiful green with the French green clay. It's really lovely green. I'm not seeing the white bits in this one like that pink clay. Okay, let's see how we do with the blue. Oh, I can't wait to see the blue. So I did 2 kind of heaping tablespoons, and like I said, I had 90 ounces of oils. Let me turn this other crock pot off. It's starting to rise up. a little bit. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Always keep an eye on your hot process. Never leave it alone. Well, that looks lovely. I don't see the white pieces, so yay. Okay, so what temperature are we at? I like to get to at least 140. It's almost there. It's 145-ish. Keep it scraped down. Let me see where we're at with the green. Give it a little mix. Yeah, it's about 145, 147. And it's about the same. So we're going to have to let it cool down just a little bit more. I'll bring you right back. Okay, so let's get these mixed with the essential oils now that we're down to a proper temperature at 140 or below. So I mix this up by shaking, and we'll put a third in there, a third in there, a third in there. And we want to get our essential oils out of the container. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Lost a blob on my counter. Okay, let's mix these in. Ooh, this is a lovely blend. Lemongrass, lavender, and sage. A nice natural soap with these beautiful clays. Yeah, you get these bright colors. It'll be nice to see what they look like once we cut this soap, so I'm excited to see that. I haven't made a soap with these hot process like this, so this is my first time making this one. So I was excited to use that blue clay, so I wanted to see what it would look like with all these other beautiful clays. Okay, and last but not least, a nice pink clay with the white bits. I did dig a few more out of here while I was waiting for the temperature to come down. I did stir this a bit. I stirred the other ones as well. It helps bring the temperature down. I want to make sure it's fully mixed in. Gives your arm quite a workout, I tell you. I can still see white bits in there, but we're just going to have to live with it. I tell you, that's it. So we'll scrape our edges. And scrape our edges. And this one's pretty scraped. And we'll get these in the mold. Okay, so let's see what you can see here. I'm going to get the mold out. So I have my hanger tool, which I made. This had a hanger and a straw, and I try to put some glue on the end, but I haven't done it with that one, so the soap doesn't go in it, but we're going to have to live with that. And that red clay, I tell you, that red clay is just, I just saw a white bit and I wanted to get it out. Did I get it? Nope. It's right there. It's so tiny. Doesn't really matter, I guess. Alright, so let's get this in the mold and then we can swirl it. So we'll give it 2-3 scoops of each color on the bottom. We'll do red on the bottom. And there's that white bit. Let me get that white bit. Look at that. See that white bit? I tell you, driving me crazy. Okay. So we've got the red in there. Let me bang this. You want it to be flat. Then we'll get 3 of the green. 1, 2, 3, and then we'll smooth it out so that it sort of gives it a kind of a layer, because then when we swirl it, it'll be even around about. We'll smush it Okay. Now for the coup d'etat, for the blue, I'm going to use a spoon. We'll do the blue. Can you see this okay? Not really. Sorry. Let me turn this so you can see better. That's a little better. Okay. So we'll do 3, and I like to mush it in, push it towards the edges. It tends to not want to grab the edges, so I push it so it grabs the edges. And we'll do 3 more. That was quite a big one. And then we'll push it towards the edges. That looks pretty good. And we'll go back with the red. Oh man. I just caught sight of a nice big white piece, and I just can't resist getting them out of here. Get out, get out. Just drives me crazy, these white. See, look at that white piece. Do you see it? It's only in the pink. Okay, so we'll put some pink. We want it in every bar. Just want to make sure I get some in every bar. So there we go. Here's that white piece again. I'm just going to grab it. See that? See that? Oh, driving me crazy. Okay, so we'll just put the rest of this in. Make sure we spread it around. We'll have 2 layers of each color. Scrape it out as best we can. It's kind of tough without a spatula, but these spoons are pretty good getting everything out. Okay, I'll put these white bits back in there. I'll get a paper towel and wipe my gloves full of soap now. Good thing it's got these gloves because it's so hot. But it's a lot less hot since we let it cool down. Okay, so we'll move this off to the side. We'll put our green in now. I'll make sure it goes all the way from end to end. And the French green clay, I got the French green clay at a co-op. And their French green clay is really nice. I like it a lot. It's very smooth in texture. It makes for a very nice, smooth mixture. It doesn't lump up. The other two were lumping up a little bit, but the French green clay was not. I think it's a thinner particle size. It must be a smaller particle size. Okay, that's that. And now, let me bang these down. Okay, they look pretty good. I'm liking the way they look. Now we want some blue on top, because that's what I like. I love this blue. Did I say that enough? Ha. This one's higher than this one. We're going to have to move some stuff over, which is not a problem, but we will dig down and get some of this out of here. So we'll just dig some down, move it over, so we can even this out. Now let's see where we're at. We'll bang these down. This is going to be really pretty. I really like it already. Okay, now to swirl it. So I'm going to go down on the end. I'm going to go around, and I'm going to go zigzag up. And then I'm going to circle. Make sure, when it's really thick like this, you can do a lot of mixing. Okay, and then we'll do the same over here. Can you see? Yeah. Go down. I'm going to go back and forth. And then I'm going to go around. And that's that. Okay. Let me bang these down again. Get this back in there. I love these molds I got from Essential Depot. They stack. You can hold 2 molds at once, no problem. Okay, I did think about putting glitter on top, but since this is a natural soap, yeah, no, we're not doing that. As much as I'd like to do glitter, I think we'll not do glitter. So what happens with hot process 2 that I think that I'm going to try to deal with is that the sides cool off faster than the inside. So what ends up happening is the sides of the soap, which is the sides like this side and these sides and this side, tend to be higher than the middle. So what I'm going to try to do to combat that with this one is I'm going to push these sides down like this, just to give it a little chance to not so much texture it, but to give it a more even look to the soap when it cools off, so it's not so. I'll show you a bar in a second what I'm talking about. So I'm not really doing this for texture, I'm doing this because they get weird on the edges and I don't really care for it. So okay, so we're gonna say that's good. They're going to be rough on the top. When they cool down a little, I may just tap them, but let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is a jewel weed hot process soap I made, and you can see the edges on these sides here are taller than the middle. So I'm trying to push these down so that I get a little bit more even look to it. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, these still need to get cleaned up. But anyway, so that's that, and we'll see you at the cut. Hi everybody, I just thought I'd bring you along to show you the unmolding. Wow, these soaps are just so easy to unmold from these Essential Depot molds, unless you get your glove caught in there. So I'm wearing my gloves because I don't want to get my hands all soapy. So it's not been 24 hours yet, but you just press on it and then you can hopefully see that it just releases. Come on, there it goes, and then you just slide it off and ta-da! And we've got a lovely hot process with lots of flakes on the side because I pushed that back, but as you can see, hopefully, and get some of these bits off the sides. We didn't get the curvature on the soap like I did in the other ones, and that actually worked out really good. So I'm excited about getting these cut. I want to see what they look like. We still have the layering look on the side here, but not on this side, and they are still a little soft, but they can be cut and they'll dry out. I think I'll just set them up for a little bit. And what would we do without a bench scraper? Oh my gosh, one of my most favorite tools ever. And I'll keep all these soap pieces. I use all the soap scraps for, I use them for the laundry, even though they're not super fatted. So, just put them in my soap scrap box. Here. Okay, and we'll get these washed. Ready for the next use. And the next one. And they stack really nice too. So, and mold them nice and thick. They hold their shape really good. I love these molds. Oh my gosh, the scent on these soaps is just so terrific. So let it sink down and let go of the mold. There we go. And see how nice and clean that is? Yes, I still get lots of bubbles with the residual in there. Lots of bubbles. So you see where my scraper tool hit the bottom and the sides. Got hot process and the flaky. But I'm very delighted not having that ridge on the top coming up on the sides. You know, the if we have a lot of like little pockets of air from the hot process, if we smooth it out, we can usually get them to close up. So I sometimes will do that, but I'm going to wait for them to just firm up a little bit more. There's that end, there's that side, and as you can see, I went down this side, so that side got, and then this side still has that nice layer effect. These are amazing. Let me just clean up real quick. And go to the next one. Unload that one. And since I got soap just everywhere, I will be washing these frames as well. So, open these up. Push it down. Give it a little squeeze. Pops right off. Nice and clean. And again, I went down to the bottom, scraped the bottom, and scraped the sides. You got all those flakes. We'll get those in a minute. And then the side, guess I raised up the red to go up that side. Anyway, we'll see what those look like. Of course, I did a double batch, so I'm showing you that I'm opening all of these 4 molds that I have from the Central Depot from the double batch I did. So, and the final one here, we'll just open it up, push it down. Come on, you can come out. Doesn't want to give up. The bottom. Okay, there it goes. And slide it up. Nice and clean. Clean, clean, clean. And then you can see I scraped the bottom, the side. Love that blue. Oh my gosh, I love that blue. And yes, we have flakes. We'll clean these up, so very nice. Okay, I'll bring you back for the cut. I just clean up my bench here. Okay, we're back to cut this Dreamland soap. So let's see what it looks like on the inside. I love this system because when you cut it, it doesn't cut much off the ends, and instead of getting 10 soaps, you get 11, and look at how little comes off the edges. I love that. So they came out awesome. Look at that swirl. 3 colors, green, blue, and rose clay. I love it. I absolutely love, love, love it. They just came out wonderful, just as I wanted. And yes, there's that white stuff I was talking about. We'll just call it character and just be done with it. Yes, but it's so pretty. I love that blue. I think I'm going to have to use that blue clay more and more. I just love the blue. This must have been that first batch with all those white things in there. But isn't that pretty? Nice swirl for hot process. I love it. I should probably show you the tops too, huh? Of course, these aren't cleaned up, of course, you know. There's the top. A little rough. Yeah, it's very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, so I'll give you some music through the rest of this so that you can see the rest of these in speeded up fashion. And there we go.